Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Wrap on Saturday. September 27th, 2014. Yes, I apologize. This is a day late. Honestly, my excuse is dumb. I totally lost track of time yesterday. I was lying in bed, sleeping, or right about to go to sleep, and I had one of those, like, I forgot to do the Friday Wrap moments. The reason for that is it's going to sound silly, but I didn't play D&D on Thursday, and my whole, week got muddled. I don't remember what day was what until it was too late, and then I realized, oh crap, I forgot to do the Friday Wrap, so I'm doing it a day late. I apologize. This one is going to be kind of a longer one, and this is my second time recording this goddamn thing, because the first time my dumb camera decided to use the actual microphone on the camera, not the microphone that I use here, so I fixed it, fingers crossed, and this is going to be the one that you guys see. So let's talk a little bit. So first and foremost, my channel is doing a wide variety of new things over the coming week. I'm very excited for the next 2 weeks, actually, and there's for a number of reasons. The first one you guys have already seen. It's on Neverending Nightmares, a series that's doing exceptionally well, and it is, I'm grabbing it right now, this sucker right here. The face cam. This is something I've been nervous to do over the course of a long time, but something that I've been wanting to do with a couple of games, primarily just horror games, really. And I think there are games that, warrants a face cam. If I think it adds to the entertainment value of a video, which is the primary reason I do videos in the first place, I'm going to try it out. And I do think this is it. And I'm using a Canon HD Vixia HF R500 something or other. I actually really like it. It's small. It wasn't that expensive. It gives me 1080p video. I can flip the screen around to see, what's going on. So see, hey, you guys, what's up? You can see my camera up there. How exciting. We'll go ahead and put this sucker away. And that's what I've been using, and I've been really excited for it, and it's been working really well. Now, the first couple of episodes are kind of trial and error in that the first episode... Well, let me put this back first. The first episode, the camera angle was way too wide, and I had to figure out a way to get it smaller. I've never done this before, and I was able to fix it in the second video. The other thing I've noticed in the videos themselves, they've been kind of blurry and a little bit pixelated, the face part itself. And I was like, why is that the case? So I went into my video settings for this thing, and apparently it's only set to basically do 17 megabytes per second, Mbps. That's not the highest quality. The highest quality is basically double that, a little over double that, at 35 Mbps. So I set it for that, and hopefully we'll see a difference in the third video. Not that they look bad at all in the current videos, it's just noticeable to me, who's kind of a stickler for that kind of thing, and I had to figure out why that was the case. Luckily, it works. I've got it on a tripod. It's at a decent angle where the effort to look up at the camera, look at the screen is not that big a deal for me, and it's still pretty decent for you guys to watch. So I was nervous to do it because I was afraid of the reaction that you guys were going to have. Like, oh God, a face cam. I don't want this. Get rid of it. But surprisingly, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. It's been, this is awesome. I want to see it more, do it more, do it more. And the views and the likes and all that stuff are kind of reinforcing that you guys really like the face cam thing. So I'm really happy that that's the case. And that's something that I constantly have to be weighing when doing YouTube videos is the risk worth it? Especially if it ends up failing, because one of my biggest fears, doing YouTube, we'll get a little bit behind the scenes as far as this is concerned, is when you start doing YouTube as your profession, you're constantly got to have your creative juices flowing. You can't just sit by and do the same thing for X amount of time. You obviously always want something new on the channel, which is always why I'm cycling through series. When one finishes up, I always have 3 or 4 on the back burner that are ready to replace it. So outside of that, you also want to start, reaching and doing new things when you can kind of sustain it. And for me, I have the ability, luckily, to try and do new things and sustain it. So the face cam was one of them. And you always worry that it's not going to do well, because if it doesn't do well, you lose out on time. And that's huge. That is my main commodity, is time in my current profession in doing this. So I want to always make sure that I'm not wasting my time, because I want to make sure that there's not a video slot in my schedule that's bombing miserably. Because if it is, not only are you guys not watching it, so there's a lack of content, one less video for you guys to watch, but for me personally, I may have recorded X number of episodes ahead of time, and if the first and second one just bomb, there is going to be that I could remove it from the slot, but that time that I used recording, editing, doing audio balancing, rendering, all that stuff is now time that has disappeared, and time that I could have used doing something that I could have kind of guaranteed to do better, which is kind of stay in my safe zone a little bit. But if it does well, then I can be like, okay, now I have all these new doors, all these new options that I can do because they've responded well to that. Again, YouTube is all about you guys and just looking at how you guys respond to new things and if you guys like it or not, because you're what's driving me. You're the reason I do what I do. So if you guys don't like something, even if it means dumping, an entire day's worth of work down the drain, just deleting the videos if you don't like it, I'll do it if that keeps you, makes you happy. And that's what that does. And kind of going with that, we do have new stuff coming up, which is why I've been thinking about this. One of the things I talked about either last week or the week before was the kind of stretch into AAA games, very slowly dipping my toes into it with 2 games in particular. One is Alien Isolation, which I kind of already assume is going to do really well. Horror games in general, especially if they're good horror games, are things that I like to watch. So I know that there is an audience for them. The numbers don't lie and other YouTubers stuff. And now with Neverending Nightmares, it's obvious that you guys enjoy it. But one that I am very excited to play, and I've been excited to play for a while and nervous at the idea of recording, is Shadows of Mordor. Now, this was a game I was thinking about just not doing. I had the idea for a little bit, but then I was like, I'm not going to do it. But then I kind of put the idea up on Twitter to see the response, and the response on Twitter is kind of a bigger response than I usually get up on there, which is, do it. I want to see this. This looks cool. So I got a thumbnail whipped up. I tweeted it out. You guys really like the thumbnail. I think it's an awesome thumbnail, thanks to Dracula Fetus. And we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it goes. And I'm hoping it's going to go well. I'm excited for the game. And the reason I want to do it is not only is it a AAA game, but it's a AAA game that is starting to bring in some sandboxy elements, namely the Nemesis system. So I could be playing the game and I could have a completely different Nemesis than somebody else who's playing the game next to me. So I'm not really playing the super narrow game. I'm kind of playing it while kind of having my own unique experience, if that makes sense, while you guys who are playing it along with me are also going to have a very unique experience. Again, very interested to see what the reaction is going to be. And I shouldn't really be that nervous because way back in the day when I did the Walking Dead episodes, which are, in my opinion, pretty narrow. I mean, they do have options and choices for you, but ultimately they boil down to very similar endings. Those did really well for my channel at the time, which was when I was like only a few thousand subs, like 2,000 or 3,000. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see how it's going to go. I'm always excited to try new things. Hopefully you guys are excited for it and are going to like it. I really do hope that it goes well. So again, all will be told in the next few weeks, and I'm excited to see what you guys are going to say about it all. That being said, there's only one more topic I really want to touch on. Before we get to that, though, no D&D updates. The reason I'm not doing a D&D update right now is because I know a couple of my friends actually end up watching my Friday updates, and I don't want to spoil anything for them. So we're going to hold off on doing any D&D stuff till next week. I apologize. I know I promised something this week, but new things have come to light, and I don't want to blow it for those who play with me. So the last thing I want to talk about is my Twitch streaming situation. So it's come to my attention that apparently I never really fully clarified what's going on with me streaming. I thought I did. I know I've basically set it up on Twitter many times as to what's going on. And I'm pretty sure I've said it in a couple of videos, but let this be the official announcement if there ever was one. I will be abandoning my Twitch streaming schedule. I will no longer have a schedule for it. I will only be streaming either randomly or for special events which get like a couple of weeks notice for you guys. And there's a number of reasons for it, and I'm going to do the best to explain it without getting too boring about it. Basically, it boils down to time. I basically had to come down to a choice of continuing to do my 5 or 6 videos a day up on YouTube and drop my streaming schedule, or stream on my schedule and drop some videos from my daily YouTube uploading. And when it comes down to it, YouTube for me is more fun. It's I can work on my own schedule with that for the most part, and it is going to be what I always want to focus on because it is where you guys can come to the channel no matter what time of day it is and watch something, as opposed to Twitch where I would be streaming 3 days a week at a very particular time for a very set number of hours. If you know anything about my personal life, Carrie, the lovely woman that I live with and am in love with and all that good stuff, is a veterinarian, and she works a wacky schedule. She usually works 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., sometimes later, depending on what's going on. So when she comes home, she's only awake for a couple of hours before she goes to bed and wakes up and does it all over again. those 3 days where I was streaming were an extra 2 or 3 hours of work. So all my workload would end up getting bumped to an extra couple of hours those 3 days, meaning when Carrie came home, I was not done with work, and I would end up working until right when she went to bed, which sucks because I want to spend time with her as much as I possibly can, right? It only makes sense. So when those 3 days I was streaming ended up me working later, really kind of threw a kink in the works as far as us spending time together, which is very important. So what I ended up doing was spending time with her when she came home, waited till she went to bed, and then staying up super late and doing the work then, which messed up my sleeping schedule. It meant I was sleeping until, God knows, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon and being up till 5 or 6 in the morning. That sucks. I hate that sleeping cycle. I despise it with all my might. So I am on a good sleeping schedule now, but that's because I reset it and I have not been streaming for a long time, and I've been able to maintain it for a decent amount of time so far. And that's kind of where it's at. I had to make a decision, and it sucks because I do love streaming when I have the opportunity to, but the amount of content that I put out on YouTube is more than most other people are able to do on YouTube. And YouTube for me is really where it all is for me. I love it so much, and it is going to be the priority. Streaming is not going to end. It's just going to be less frequent. It's going to be a special thing for community streams or charity streams or a random stream. Whatever it ends up being, that's what I'm going to end up doing. And I apologize if that pisses some people off, but really, like, go to my YouTube channel and look how many videos I've posted in the past couple of weeks, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, well, he does a lot of work. He does a lot of video editing and all that good stuff. So I apologize. It's just how it's going to be. I love you guys anyway, and that's it. That's all I got. So we'll be wrapping up this Friday wrap on a Saturday. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and as always, I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.